Hey guys, Nick here with a little intro update. We're going to be doing things a little differently the next 2 weeks. Wyatt and I have recorded an extra long episode to prepare for his vacation next week. So you're going to see this one be split right down the middle, and you're going to get half now and half later. We'll recap you next week, and we'll see you back in a couple. Bye-bye.
Hey, Nick.
Hey, buddy.
What kind of bees make milk?
What kind of bees do make milk?
Boobies. We don't have it yet.
Welcome back, everybody, to another week of We Don't Have It Yet. I am Nick. Over there is Wyatt, back with you again. Got an exciting other week of fun topics to discuss that are constantly off topic, and it's because we don't have it yet. Looks like we're going to talk about Pokemon Pinball is coming. Discord is going ID required. I watched some movies. Wyatt played some games, and it looks like our favorite new musical group has another release. Sir Wyatt, how are you?
Doing pretty well, Nick. How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. We finally got in here and recording after more technical difficulties on my part, so apologies as always. But we're here, and we're back.
And everyone is just champing at the bit to hear our latest exploits.
Obviously. As they are every week. We are their Wednesday reprieve. Is it break from real life?
Halfway through the week, we're pushing you through that second half of the work week.
So what's going on with you, sir?
Life is life. It's been super friggin' cold here for probably the last week and a half, I'd say. I think yesterday was the first time the wind chill was over zero in about a week.
38 at the park this morning with the dog and melting snow. Pretty kick-ass stuff.
Yeah, I'm a little excited for the couple days of reprieve we have, but according to future forecasts, which we'll see since those change every 5 minutes, but right now it's looking like we might get about 20 inches of snow on Monday, and that sounds miserable.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I don't need any more. I'm so tired of waking up and seeing that we got another couple fresh inches of powder on top of the, existing stuff, and I make my way out there with my push broom in the snow to brush off all the solar panels so we can keep making electricity juice. But that's actually working pretty well thus far. I'm happy.
Yeah, let's do a 6-month check-in, because I feel like when we first started this podcast was right about when you were looking into putting solar on the house. So how has that been working overall?
Oh, yeah. So it's not just solar. I guess that's the important distinction. This is not a grid-connected system. It's a battery system. So the idea being solar fills the batteries power the house. So far, it's pretty awesome. I guess we got everything properly up and running about 3 months ago. And then it's just been a lot of dialing in and like figuring out when production is happening, which is changing all the time too, because obviously, the Earth rotates and its axis around the sun changes and all that good stuff. So December is traditionally your worst month, just as far as sunlight in the northern hemisphere goes. And it's just as you hit daylight savings and then the days are progressively actually getting longer again, it starts getting better every day. So even with limited production in December and January, we were covering like half of our power nut, which is good. Not quite there yet, obviously. It'll be interesting to see as spring and summer comes, how those numbers change quite a bit, and might have to rearrange a few things, tweak a few things here and there, change some wiring going into next winter, but lots of data gathering, and we're saving money already, man. So that's pretty cool. That's why we're here.
I mean,
right?
that's the goal. I mean, you're not going to be fully energy independent, but if you can cut that,
Well, I have all my dedicated circuits down here that run to the smart panel. And so like the server that I just installed and built like a month or two ago that's running all my stuffs is totally solar powered now. along with the other array of PCs and crap that's down here in the basement. So presumably my server should never go down unless I make it go down by doing something. So we know it will go down in that
Yeah,
respect.
right.
But as far as having power juice, it should be good. And it's like a 10 millisecond switchover when the grid dies. And it's happened twice now over these winter storms, and we have not lost power for 1 second. So that's
That's
pretty
pretty
awesome.
nice.
Yeah, when the whole street was down, we were toasty. But yeah, I'm just glad to be saving money at this point. But you said you were doing stuff this week. You joined the Y?
Yeah, we actually did that a couple weeks ago, but I finally this past week decided to
Actually went.
start. Yeah, looking into it. You know, they offer a bunch of group classes and stuff, group exercise classes, which, you know, it's the height of depressing winter, so it's kind of nice to force myself to get out of the house and see other people and do other things.
Yeah, I'm bad about that, like going to pinball and stuff. As we were just talking about not too long ago, I'm bad about getting out of the house when it's dark and depressing and dreary and cold, especially when it's like -10 outside. You're like, nah, let's stay under this blanket inside or, near the heater.
Yep, it's doubly worse. Like it's working from home's both a blessing and a curse because
Yep.
I enjoy not having to commute anywhere, but there are some days that I don't even make it outside to check my mail. And it's like, you know what, this sucks. I need to
Yeah, you
I
gotta
at
force
least need to.
yourself a little bit. Thankfully, I have a husky that forces my hand in that regard because he ain't putting up with not going
Yep.
outside.
Yep. That definitely helps.
Yeah, so we get
But
back from the park this morning, and it's like, all right, let's go out back and throw the ball. You felt how awesome it was.
yeah. Classic Bowie.
But talking about like, days getting longer and getting warmer and sunnier out, there is, some sunshine on the horizon now. Spring training starting. It's baseball
Hell
time
yeah,
again.
buddy. It's pitchers and catchers report today. And That's
Yeah.
that's the one little thing that's lifting the fog of depression right now is, baseball is coming. And I think one of us has a little more reason to be optimistic this year than the other one of us, but that's not going to stop me from watching the games.
What are you talking about? My Orioles versus your Tampa Bay?
I mean, your Orioles who have spent money and made trades to better
Mm,
themselves, or my Rays who have once again traded half their team while trying to pick up younger prospects and prospects that have fallen out of favor from other teams? Yeah, maybe a little bit.
fair. Well, in fairness to me, we have only had like 2 years of being decent recently, and then 1 year where we made it to the ALCS in what, like 2011 or something.
It's
And prior
been a
to
while.
that, we've been rebuilding since, I don't know, the Roberto Alomar spitting incident, basically.
Yeah, well, being a Rays fan has been all sunshine and rainbows since
Well,
1998. So,
yeah, there's that.
they've been good. We went to the World Series in 2008. Went to the World Series in 2020. Fielded some pretty competitive teams,
Yeah, you don't have too much to
but
bitch about. I still think of you an expansion team, for God's sakes.
well, we basically are. I think we just recently, and I'd have to fact check this, but I think we just recently hit 500 as a franchise
Oh,
after
wow.
spending I think the first from 1998 until 2007. I believe the Rays finished last place in the AL East 9 out of 10 years. So it's been
I
some
hope
good
I
eating,
hope that everybody's
but
ready for some just compelling AL East conversation throughout this season.
you know what? I can pivot and we can talk about most of MLB. This is the first time that we've actually started talking baseball on the podcast.
I just
But
want
for
to talk
anyone
shit about
that
the Yankees and the Red Sox. I'm fine with the
I just want
Rays.
to talk shit about the Dodgers. So,
Well, that's a given for all baseball fans.
but yeah, no. Like I said, pitchers and catchers reported today. I think the first Rays spring training game is against the Braves on Saturday. I doubt it's going to be televised. I know spring training games are very hit or miss whether or not they're going to be on TV, but I'm excited to see some of the prospects we have, some of the guys we traded for, Jacob Melton from the Astros, see Junior Camanero's second year after his huge breakout last year. There's some exciting pieces on the Rays team this year. We just signed Nick Martinez, I think, to be our fourth or fifth starter. So the Rays on paper always look like they're going to be like a 75 win team, and sometimes they are, but other times out of nowhere we're pulling off, 95 wins in the AL East, which might put you in third place some years, and
Yeah.
it's murderer's row. The AL East is the murderer's row of, divisions.
It's kind of nice to have somebody else that's a fan in this division to understand how difficult it is. And yeah, I get mad at other divisions. It's like, well, you don't have to deal with this shit.
You have the Rockies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just excited to be able to get out to games again, man. I think that just goes with living in this cold, depressing state at the moment. I just want everything to be green. Baseball signals spring. Come, bring it on.
That is basically I've been a baseball fan for most of my life, and that's like the one thing almost every year that pushes me through winter is being like, oh, baseball's coming. I love baseball, either playing it, watching it, talking about it, reading about it. It's
opening day is absolutely like, the turn of the season kind of thing. It's like, all right, now we're in spring, summer. Now it's real.
I'm gonna probably butcher the quote, but I know Rogers Hornsby, who played for the St. Louis Cardinals, amazing baseball player, Hall of Famer. He always used to, or he didn't always used to. He had a quote about winter. It was something like, people ask me what I do in winter when I'm not playing baseball, and he says, I'll tell you what I do. I just stare out the window and wait for spring. And that's essentially how I feel, is like, I'm just looking out that window going, oh man, smell the fresh cut grass, get out there. And baseball is, hope springs eternal.
I think there's as screwed up as baseball is, there is hope at the beginning of every year that this could be the unexpected turnaround year for my beleaguered franchise or whatever. I mean, there's always the big bad guy in the room of the Dodgers payroll and the Yankees payroll and all that good stuff. But
they're not guaranteed to win. That's the best thing, is like, yeah, obviously the Dodgers are they're in tier 1, and everyone's fighting behind them, but it's no guarantee that they're going to win. Sure, they've got, almost the best players at just about every position, but baseball, it's all about getting hot at the right time. You got to get to the playoffs, and then anything can happen.
Yep, absolutely. Well, what's your take on the talk of salary caps? Because I know it's kind of a hot button issue, and they seem to feel really strongly one way or another. It came up on Discord chat, I think, a couple of weeks ago.
I am an advocate for a salary floor, because there are plenty of owners out there, and I'm waiting to see. The Tampa Bay Rays got a new owner last fall, so I'm hoping to see that maybe this guy will start to open up the checkbook a little bit. As of the first offseason, they really haven't done anything different. But someone like the Oakland A's, the Pittsburgh Pirates, they're spending,
owners that are raking in massive TV deals that spend jack shit. Yeah, I think, and not to get too conspiratorial here, but you just watch the Orioles spend money in the offseason for the first time in years, and it just strangely coincides with them ending the Masson contract that includes the Nationals broadcast rights. Strange that. Isn't it funny how that worked out?
Yeah, right? But I don't think a salary cap will never happen in baseball. I don't think the MLBPA will ever agree to that.
I bet all these deferred money contracts are insane.
That is something that I would love to see addressed in the next collective bargaining agreement, is deferred contracts.
Put a ceiling on those, at least. Put a hard cap on the amount of deferred money that you're allowed to give. Put it in a percentage, something.
It's got to be something.
Yeah, and set a salary floor. So at the least, you say $75 million, the Pirates have to go out and field a team worth that much. And if the Dodgers want to spend $500 million, that's their business, kind of thing. That's at least progress, I think.
Yeah, and I think you're more likely to have something like that than an actual salary cap. But when you have, Shohei Ohtani, who's the best pitcher and one of the best hitters on the planet, in one person taking home like I can't even remember how much it is, but I think it's less than $2 million a year right now of his $700+ million contract because the Dodgers have deferred it out forever. Like
Yeah,
that is
that's
just
insanity.
wild.
Well, I mean,
But
as an Orioles fan, I felt the pain of Albert Bell for God knows how long. He makes Bobby Bonilla's whole deal look like a joke.
you guys still paying Chris Davis? I know you
Yes,
were paying
oh no,
Chris
it's
Davis.
excuse me, it's old Crash Davis that was supposed to be the shit. No, he's the one that makes Bobby Bonilla's contract look like a joke. Yeah, he's getting paid through 2038 or something obscene. I can't
Yeah,
remember what it is,
but
but
like I understand, like you got to get the bag, and that makes sense. But when it comes to
have I floated my
salary
relegation in
deferments,
baseball idea to you?
you haven't. But I'm a big. It's again never going to happen. But I
It's never going to
love
happen.
the
I don't think
idea.
it's going to happen, but I just think in the world of
I love
Nick,
the idea.
when I run things, it would happen. So I think you open up baseball, the frontier leagues, triple A, double A, down to single A, just like relegated soccer in the UK. Anybody can climb the ladder, and that
I'd
can
love it.
make
I would love it.
it would make the sport so freaking entertaining. So you'd still have leagues, you'd still have the major league and dot 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 dot, but that AAA team might start winning, and maybe the Pittsburgh Pirates fall off in the MLB, and they got to go down to AAA and work their way back now.
And the only way you see that happen is you would have to minor league baseball would have to not be affiliated with Major League Baseball anymore.
Yeah, that's I
Because
don't know how you make it work having the same owners.
the only way this could happen, and again, I don't think it will ever happen.
I'm not
but
floating it saying it
No,
might
no,
happen. I'm just saying it
absolutely.
would be cool as shit.
Yeah, I'm just saying the only way that it would happen is you would have to have another league, another structured league that's not affiliated with MLB or minor league baseball.
Frontier
that,
League.
Yeah, that's really what it would have to be. It would be unaffiliated independent leagues that
There's
join
several
together.
indie leagues that you can make
Yeah.
it work, and I think that those cats could ball. And baseball is the one sport where you could see some teams that nobody thought could win actually win, whereas something I feel like the NFL they just get trounced kind of thing.
Yeah, the gap between the best team in the NFL and the worst team in the NFL, I think on any given day is wider than the best team in Major League Baseball and the worst team in Major League Baseball, especially over 162 game season.
Oh yeah, well I'm
But
also saying just like the best college team versus the worst NFL
oh
team
yeah,
is just such a massive
I,
chasm.
I hate the people that float that out there. Like I know every 10 years or so, the most recent one that I can remember is like, do you think Alabama could beat the Miami Dolphins back when the Dolphins,
Sucked
lost?
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, no, they couldn't.
No, they get
because
run right over. The game
an NFL
operates
team
at
is
twice the pace.
every college like every best college player is on an NFL team. Like
Right. That's the whole thing that they say. It's like, yeah, you were the best kid in your high school, and then your college, and then you got moved on to the big school and played there, and you were great, and it doesn't mean shit anymore, kind of thing. It's the amount of you have to be the best that of everyone around you. Everyone in the NFL was the best of everyone around them, I guess is the way to put it.
I know this is. I don't know why we probably should just put this as its own topic because now I kind of want to talk baseball, and we're going to talk baseball because we're allowed to, and this is our damn podcast, right?
That is correct.
I am going to say that I'm going to be one of the biggest boosters of the WPBL, which is starting this year. Which I don't know how familiar you are with this.
I would
But
assume that's the women's professional baseball league.
yes,
Oh,
Women's Professional Baseball League, which
a
is
league of
starting
their
up
own.
this year.
Would you
Yes.
say, Wyatt?
I would. I am super pumped. I'm both pumped and depressed about this because there are 4 teams, I believe, for the inaugural season. I think they're going to move to 6 next year, but the 4 teams are New York, Boston, Los Angeles, and San Francisco, which awesome. You're hitting, major metro areas.
Yeah.
However, the first season is going to be played at I think Robin Roberts Field. Now that I'm talking about it, I can't remember. But it's being played on everyone's playing at the same Robin Roberts Stadium. Yeah, which
Okay.
you could actually make a trek to because it is in
It's in
Springfield,
Springfield.
Illinois.
Yep.
Yeah. So the first season's going to be played there, which makes sense. It's a new league that's opening up. They have big plans for it, but this way they have this stadium for themselves. So they're not going to be sharing it with a minor league team. They're not going to be sharing it with, another facility. They actually get to own this field essentially for the inaugural season,
Yeah, I mean they
which,
get. I'm just looking too. It's like 5,200.
yep,
That's
5,200
it's a
seat
decent.
ballpark.
It looks like it's old, but it looks like a cool old classic park built in the 50s.
Yeah. Um, so this first season, I think it's like 6 weeks long or so, 2 months long. It's going to have Robin Roberts Stadium is going to have the entire season there. They're going to have the All Star game there. The playoffs are going to be played there. And then the idea in 2027, they want to actually have their own home stadiums. And like I said, they plan on adding two more teams to the league. I'm really holding out hope. I know they were talking about before they announced that Robin Roberts Stadium was going to be the home. They were spelling out what they wanted the home stadiums to look like. I think they wanted to be like at least 5,000 seats in the stadium. They want it to be within X number of miles of a major metro area. All the
Hmm.
different criteria that they listed out. I'm looking at this, and especially once they said there was going to be a team in Boston, uh, Delta Dental Stadium in Manchester, where the New Hampshire Fisher Cats plays, like checked every box, and I was just like holding out hope after hope
That it was
before
going
they
to
said,
be yours. Yeah.
which it's still entirely possible because they haven't named any home stadiums for 2027 yet. So it's either going to probably be in Lowell, I think, which is only about an hour from me, or like I said, hope of hopes, it's going to be in Manchester. I absolutely will hop on the train and buy at least a partial season ticket plan to this because I don't know. Baseball's for everybody. I play in a Sandlot baseball league, which we've talked about a little bit. I don't know if we've mentioned it on the podcast, but
Oh yeah, I know you do
yeah,
that.
that's essentially what Sandlot baseball is baseball's for everybody. We have people from their mid to late 50s down to, people just out of high school, men, women, non-binary, anyone that just has any interest in playing baseball. We come out, we play ball, and we
Yeah,
have a
pickup league
blast.
kind of thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
awesome.
and it's awesome. I will spend the next 4 hours talking about baseball and women's
This I
professional
believe.
baseball. But
So are they running this kind of as a out of a central location as sort of a proof of concept season to be able to demonstrate to investors that this will have value in other markets kind of thing?
I think that's part of it. It sounds like they already do have a lot of investment backing. I think it's really logistics at this point of just trying to, like I said, not having to share a
Having their own
stadium with
facilities,
anyone
yeah.
else. Yeah. So I think it's more that based on the stuff I've read, they do have some decent backing, and this season probably will show that it's for real, and maybe they
Yeah.
get some more backing and next year, and maybe that's why they're planning on starting with 4 teams and moving to 6 teams. But I'm super excited. The season starts this summer. Off the top of my head, I can't remember when it starts, but it's like I said, it's like a 2 month season or so. I think. Oh, there we go. August 1st through mid September, and they're gonna play 30 regular season games, followed by the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
So
So that's cool. That's
yeah,
kind of
right.
like a mini season with a tournament.
Yep, right in the dog days of summer.
Yeah,
Right.
I'm into it.
And I don't know if they've got any type of television deal. I doubt they do. My guess is they'll probably do the same thing that the Savannah Bananas do, and they'll stream it on YouTube. They'll
I was going to
stream
say
it,
webcast
through that.
somehow. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm
That's where you'll pick
super
up sponsors.
yes, I'm super excited to see this. It looks like, yeah, also games are going to be Thursdays through Sundays. Each team's going to play 2 to 3 games a week. 6 weeks of regular season, 2 weeks of playoffs. I'm just
You can hear how
I,
excited he is, people.
I
It's
just
great.
I
Can
love
you
I
feel his
love baseball,
infectious
man.
enthusiasm when it comes
I
to
love
baseball?
baseball.
Well, they
I
could
would
certainly
start
not
my own
find a better
podcast on baseball.
place, I would think, to give it a go than Springfield. I mean, I've always been a baseball fan. San Diego was awesome place to live as a baseball town. Obviously, Baltimore is a baseball town, but nowhere have I ever lived like Illinois. People are baseball crazy
Oh, I
around.
love
Yeah,
baseball there.
yeah, it is the sport. Damn near year round. There are indoor facilities everywhere. I don't love some of the incredible travel leagues that go all over, put pressure on these kids
Yeah.
from their dad's kind of stuff. But I mean, there's a million rec leagues. There's, it's everywhere. There's baseball crazy. Everybody's got either their Cubs or their White Sox bumper sticker or flag. So I would certainly hope that they'll have no problem, filling it out for the inaugural season.
I bet it's going to. I bet it's going to do gangbusters. I really do. I'm looking at. They're not selling single game tickets right now. They're doing season tickets, and season tickets, front row seats for an entire season, which gets you tickets to all 30 regular season and every playoff game. It gets you your premium chairback box seat. You get exclusive giveaways, early admission to the stadium, front row seats. $1,200 for a ticket for the entire season.
Nice.
Like,
Oh,
to
I see
me,
what they mean.
that is.
I see what they mean by. I'm looking at the stadium now. What they mean by chair-backed box ticket is
Yeah.
there is a lower box, and then it's bleachers. I think in the upper sections.
Yep. But so I mean, to me, that is good money. And there's also there's two tiers of the season tickets. There's the front row club, and then there's the legacy club, and the legacy gets you up to the second row. So even if you picked,
I don't know.
what's that?
I hope that they sell all that, but that's kind of a bummer to me because I'm not gonna be a season ticket holder for something that's a fair drive for me from Chicagoland. Um, but I would make a day trip out of it to go to a single Sunday game with the family kind of thing.
Oh no, they'll absolutely do that. Right now, I think that this is.
Oh,
just
it's just
the
you're
gaming
saying
of
at this
capital.
moment. Got
Yeah,
it.
yes.
Okay.
Right now,
Oh,
they're
okay. I was
only
like,
selling season ticket. Yeah.
That's a
No.
strange decision to make.
No, yeah, no, they're not saying these 5,200 people are the only ones that get to see.
I was
games
like,
for
what
the
are they
entire
just
season.
only trying to sell to corporate partners or
No.
something to make sure the stands are always full? I'm like, that's kind of a bummer. I wanted to go to one of these games.
Yeah, no, I'm sure, and it's the same thing with Major League Baseball. They do the same thing. You sell to your season ticket holders first, and
You
then
sell
open
your
up single
packages.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
So I'm sure you could absolutely you can take a day trip down there.
Oh, well, I mean, we'll get you out here, man. We could go down to a White Sox game. Cubs games are to go to Wrigley once in your life, but if you've done it, I'm not going to spend the money again probably because it was that
When's
expensive.
Pinball Expo? Is that October?
October, yeah.
It's too late. Never mind.
Somebody's gonna have to get
We
lucky.
could really,
Yeah.
yeah.
But
yeah,
I mean, we get in the warmer months. You got the Schaumburg Boomers. You got your Joliet Slammers. You got
your Chicago
the
Dogs.
Chicago Dogs. You got your Chicago White Sox and Cubs. I mean, there's so much baseball around to see. I've really taken a shine to the Indie League and the AAA and AA team stuff. I think there's a lot of fun to have there, and I'm sure I'd feel the same way about this.
Yeah, I
small
love
spend,
minor league baseball.
big entertainment.
Yep. It's just as good. Like I said, we got the New Hampshire Fisher Cats, which I live about 15 minutes from right now, and I love minor league baseball. Minor league baseball is just so fun, and actually having it right on my doorstep is great. And I'm really hoping, like I said, that next year, 2027, that the WPBL, the Boston team, moves somewhere within my area where I could at least get a partial season ticket plan, because I don't know. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see this, opening the game up for women, girls playing baseball in, grade school and stuff, and being forced over to softball may actually have a better chance.
It feels like baseball has dropped off universally.
Because everything has moved to travel teams. It's so expensive to play baseball now at any high level.
Yeah, and that's what sucks because it's they farm all of these athletes out of the Caribbean and stuff out of poverty. But yeah, it seems like if you want to do it in the U.S. as a youth sport, it needs to be you and your parents' entire lives.
Yeah, no, 100%. And that's basically how all children's sports are really moving. You can have the kids that, basketball, you said your son plays basketball, he can go play basketball, and that's fine and great. But if he wanted, to get into a college program, chances are you're going to have to sign him up for an AAU team. He's going to have to do travel ball. He's going to have to do this and that. And you're not seeing a lot of people come through town leagues, go through play, middle school, high school, and make it. That just doesn't happen.
Bunch of horse shit because it's all about just sucking the profit right out of it, because I have friends that do the insane travel sport thing, and it's like, oh, you're playing in this tournament which is 4 hours away, by the way, you have to stay at this hotel that we've arranged with. You have to if you
Yep.
want to participate in the tournament. Here are the restaurants that we've made agreements with, all that kind of stuff. And it's like, here's the suggested donation for the tournament directors. It's like, it's just a shakedown, top to bottom. And like, while I don't doubt there are children out there with genuine talent that needs to be nurtured to that level, I'd say 90% are just, parents trying to force their failed dreams on their kids, kind of thing, the old stereotype. Uh, I don't know. Is that for all sports? Because like,
Yeah. Basketball, baseball, football.
yeah, Christ. Well, I watched that BS High
Yep.
documentary. That was eye opening. I had no
Oh, is
idea
that
those
the
those.
Bishop Sycamore?
Yeah, I had no
Yeah.
idea that the types of like the academies,
Yep.
these elite academies and
Yeah.
stuff. Like,
IMG Academy.
yeah.
There's a bunch of them. Yeah. And yeah, Bishop. I have to watch that documentary. I didn't know they made one on it, but yeah, that's a wild
Oh, you
story.
have to watch that documentary. That's the only way I even knew about the story. If you haven't seen it, you would love that because obviously, BS is doing two-part lifting here, a little
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely.
double entendre. But it's like, oh my God, you if you picture the character that would try and pull something like this off in your head, and this guy delivers in
It checks
every
out.
way, shape, and form, it's great. And it's like, oh my God, yeah, one of the academies, the elite academies, like takes them up on an offer to play them because they're so good that
Yep.
regular schools won't play them anymore. And it's like these kids are
They get
getting
murdered.
hurt. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
They had
messed
no
up.
business playing in it.
Because they're lined up against these guys that look like they could be, a linebacker for the Ravens next week, kind of
Yep.
thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
I will have to watch that. I do remember the story. Like I followed it when it came out, all the controversy and stuff, but I didn't know they made a documentary on it. I'm gonna have to check that out
it's
because
hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious because you're like, how does this man have just apps? He gives no fucks. He just doesn't care at all. This is about raising his own bar in life, but has no concept of how ridiculous he looks
yeah.
through all of this to everyone else, which just makes it wholly amusing.
Oh God. So I
Getting
think
off sports, yeah,
yeah,
you
as I
can
say, I
take
think
us.
that is our sports minute, which I think we're probably gonna do a little bit more of because I would love to talk baseball, once we get closer to it. So we didn't even. I don't even mind if we don't mention it. We haven't even mentioned, the biggest sporting event that happened this past weekend, and
Why?
that
Who
goes
gives a
to
shit
show
about
you
that?
exactly. So anyway, speaking of something super important that happened this past weekend, Stern announced their new pinball table, and it's one of the worst kept secrets that has been about. But they
Pika pika.
finally, yeah, they have announced their Pokemon pinball table, which I think is going to bring a lot of people into the game. I could be wrong, but I think you're going to see a lot of the people around my age. I'm only a little bit older than you, but I grew up with Pokemon Red and Blue. And based on the leaks that we've seen, whether or not they're true, it looks like they're going to be focusing on Gen 1, the original 151 Pokemon, which is
Mm-hmm.
right in my wheelhouse. I
Well,
think I.
that's also where all the iconic characters lie,
Exactly.
anyway.
I mean, Pokemon's still going now. There's, I think, a new Ash Ketchum's no longer the protagonist. There's, I don't even know who it is. I haven't watched it, but the anime is still going. There's now probably, you know, hundreds and hundreds of Pokemon at this point.
Oh
But
yeah, I only
I,
know it kind of from the cultural zeitgeist. I liked the
yeah,
part where you said you were a little older than me earlier. By the way, I meant to point not to correct you on that.
did I say I was a little older than you? I
Yeah.
feel it. I feel it, man.
But yeah. So I don't know when I want to say I was in like eighth grade when the first games came out, somewhere around there.
Yeah, I was
And
fifth
maybe
or
that's when
sixth,
the
I think.
cartoon probably started airing, maybe ninth grade. I don't know, somewhere around there. I have no recollection of the cartoon from my youth at all. I can remember people playing the games, um, but I think I was just kind of focused on PlayStation mostly around that time.
Yeah, check. So yeah, I was
And I never had a
98.
Game Boy or a Game Boy Color, so that helps that. I didn't have another Nintendo handheld until I picked up a DS after college, so
Damn.
that would explain kind of a blind spot in my Pokemon background. My kid now collects the cards because one of the neighbors does, but he has no interest in actually learning how to play the card
Yeah.
game. And he has never played any of the games, despite insisting that my parents buy him the latest Switch 2-1 remix or whatever. And I tried to show him episodes of the show, and he was like, "Yeah, I get it, not interested." So that's kind of where I think that's where a lot of kids are, just like
Yeah.
this collecting thing. But it's whatever. But I've seen like what was the Ryan Reynolds movie? I watched that.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, I thought that was a cute thing, and I mean it's so ingrained in the culture at this point that it's impossible not to know about Pokemon. I think. Oh, they just speaking of the Super Bowl, just had a 30th anniversary Super Bowl commercial. And I think it's a lot of people that are, now themselves parents,
Yep.
sharing this with their kids, which is great. But as far as pinball goes, I think you're right. I think you're going to see a lot of people that aren't necessarily in the world of pinball but love Pokemon might, take a step over into that world now.
Yeah, I think we don't know a whole lot about this yet. I think it was Friday they released a teaser trailer, which
Was nothing.
as I say, is a teaser in the greatest sense of the word. I
Mhm.
think it was a ball rolling down a table, and then you hear Pikachu at the end, and it says Pokemon Pinball.
Yeah.
I think it was yesterday, some supposed leaks came out of what the layout's going to look like on the table.
Mhm.
I don't as far as I know, as of us recording now, I haven't seen any verifications that that's actually real or not.
I
It
should go
looks
peek on the map or try and reach out to a distributor guy locally, because I think somebody said that they were showing it off to distributors already. And in the past, because I live
yeah,
down
you
the
live
street,
in the Mecca.
literally down the street from Stern, I can hit them with a rock. It's a good chance that one of my locals may have one already, because that's what happened before with
Well,
Metallica and I want to say the Godzilla remake.
Nick, we now run a podcast, a very popular pinball podcast.
Mhm.
We need you to use some of that weight you have to get them to let you look at
Pull
it, and
some
then we can
strings,
report on it
little
here.
peek behind the door, maybe an
Yeah,
exclusive interview with Gary Stern.
yeah. This is the stuff we need to be working on here. This
Aim for
is
the
what's
top.
Yeah.
Use my access. Yeah, I'll give him a ring. I'll call him and I'll report back not next episode, because peek behind the curtain, we're doubling up on these, but it's in the coming weeks. Let's see if we can get would you come out if they agreed to do a live interview
Oh, absolutely.
and a tour and a factory
100%.
tour?
Yeah.
I did the
That's
factory tour a couple of years ago. Their new facility that they just built, as part of Pin Expo, you can add that to your package, and it's a really cool. Well, the factory floor is neat just to see the various stages of production, but obviously, I'm sure you can imagine their offices are pretty cool too.
Yeah, I know. I think we drove by it when I came out there last year. Didn't get a chance, obviously, to go in or
No,
anything,
but
but
they've
it's
since I was there and you got to see it, they've added a gigantic silver ball out front
yeah.
of
I
the
was gonna
office,
say there
so
was a
that's fun.
gigantic pinball,
Yeah.
basically. That was really cool. But yeah, so I don't know what you're thinking of. Like, I was gonna ask you, like, what do you think this game's going to end up being like? I think if they want to do this right, they need to kind of set it up almost like a story mode, like they did with D&D. Have you played D&D yet?
Oh yeah, quite a bit, but
Okay.
it's like I said with Pokemon, I don't really have a dog in the fight, but I think it's going to be very similar to the other 3.0 or whatever their newest system is.
Yeah, Spike 3, I think.
Spike 3, yeah. And I think you even pointed out that the Pokeball on the playfield,
It's the
assuming
Death
the
Star,
image that we've seen is just a repurposed Death Star, yeah.
which is what
Um,
Stern does. They reuse, the different ramps, the different, loops and everything from the other games because they have extras or whatever, and it's easier to do that than it is to, manufacture new pieces.
yeah,
So,
or I just wonder if it's like we know that design works really well for this game function that we want to implement over here as well, so we'll do that. I mean, a stern table feels like a stern table, a modern stern table. I mean, every
they're all the
era of
same.
yeah,
I'm
every
not the
era
same, but
feels similar.
yeah.
You know, if you go back to the 2012 release games, before they had the big screens and stuff, that whole era feels very similar. If you move up to 1.0, 2.0, and so on, all those games feel everything very similarly. And yeah, I'm not mad at that because there's a
There's a familiarization. There's a it's
familiarization and an expectation of a baseline
right.
of quality that you don't necessarily get elsewhere. Certainly not from American, or like I mean Jersey Jack. You had like their earlier games, like the flipper feel was god awful to me on Toy Story and Wonka, and they only kind of fixed that in their more recent iterations with Avatar and Elton John. So they're kind of like just eras, you know.
Yeah.
I'm fine with
I,
that. It's like when Ford does a whole new revamp kind of thing and across their
yeah,
product
right.
lines.
Yeah, it's all based on the same, the same.
Design philosophy,
Yeah, there you go.
concept,
Yeah.
what have you. Yeah.
So,
So like, it's gonna be similar. And it's gonna be Pokemon, and it's gonna be Stern. And you know what? I bet it'll be fine. I'm sure I'll enjoy it. I'm sure the presentation will be great as long as I don't know. I just hated John Wick. The more I played it.
for anyone that doesn't remember, I believe when we were down at Really Rad Weekend, John Wick was one of the
Oh
games
yeah,
in
that
the
was the
Pinball
shot that I couldn't
Gauntlet.
hit in the
I was
tournament
gonna say,
that you
and
hit
yeah,
right away.
I and I think that I'd never played it before, and I don't know if you said you hated John Wick before that, but I think that just cemented you hating John
Well,
Wick
I
by
think
not being
at
able to
that
hit that
time
shot.
I may have said something along the lines of not my favorite machine in the
Yeah.
lineup. Yeah, that was me going, which target is it? They're like, that one. I'm like, I'm hitting that fucking one.
Oh, it was a lot of fun. I can't
And then
believe I
Wyatt
lost by
walks up
2
to the
seconds
machine.
in
He's like,
that.
oh, I've never played this before. Done.
Well, like I've said before, and I'll say again, I think I had an advantage there because most of the other people, like you, have played all of those games, so you're used to playing it to play the game. Whereas I come up to it, I haven't played it, and all I know is this is the shot I'm supposed to hit.
Right.
So I'm not trying to like retrain my muscle memory of trying
And you're not
hit this
already in your
loop
own
and
head.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's literally just hit this, hit that. Same with the Bond jetpack multi-ball that apparently that guy got super mad and thought I shouldn't have got it because it
Yeah,
auto-launched
that was
into it.
funny.
But
Yeah, but you got screwed on the middle machine, so that evens out.
I did, yeah, because it didn't start right or something. I'm gonna say that's why I lost. Actually,
I don't think you had flippers or something
yeah,
like
that's
that.
what it was. Yeah, I think it had tilted or something, and then there was no flippers on it, and I lost by 2 seconds. And that's why I lost because that machine they didn't take those 2 seconds back when that machine wasn't working. So, no, I'm just kidding. I wouldn't have won. And the fact that I even finished second in that thing is wild, and I'm
Oh, it was awesome. I think the video is still on Blue Sky somewhere.
oh, probably. And I'm sure if anyone wants to see that, you can go find it yourself because I'm not posting it anywhere. Let's see. I know we had just talked about this before we had popped on to recording, but another fairly big thing, and it's not as big as some other things that happened this past week, was Nintendo had their Partner Direct showcase. I know you haven't really had a chance to watch any of it. I did shoot you. I love Nintendo, man, and you're
I
not going
love
to tell me any
Nintendo
different.
too. It's a partner showcase, and they always suck. This one seemed to be no exception whatsoever. That's why I still haven't watched it.
Well, I at least set you a link so you can see what they
Oh, fair enough. Okay, I
announced.
guess I should click on that then.
Yeah. That was my whole point. Is I know you didn't watch it, but but there were a few things that were announced. Again, it's partner stuff, so it's usually just ports. Things have already came out, which this is wholly the same thing. One of the big things to come out, I guess, is Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which was it was a Bethesda game that was released on Xbox. It is coming to Switch 2 in May, and it's actually, this is the most surprising thing to me, is it's going to be an actual cartridge game. One of the big controversies with Switch 2 games is that you're getting a lot of code in box
Game
or
cards.
game key
Yeah.
cards, which for anyone who doesn't know what the game key card is, it essentially is just a license in a physical form that lets you download the game, which you might be saying to yourself, but Wyatt, isn't that essentially what PS5 and Xbox games do at this point? And I would say, yeah.
Yeah, more or less.
Kinda. I mean, that's just like Nintendo, for whatever reason, deserved and not deserved, get a lot of flack for a lot of decisions that they make. The idea behind the game key cards is that it is cheaper for third parties to put their games on the system as opposed to paying for the full cartridges that Nintendo has. I do believe that Nintendo, they may have announced it or it might have been a third party, had said that it looks like Nintendo is going to release a different size Switch 2 cartridge, which would give developers hopefully lesser cost barrier into creating an actual physical game. With game key cards, it's just like a Xbox game, just like a PS5 game. You know, it downloads the game. You still physically own the cartridge, so you can still resell it. You can let someone borrow it. Obviously, only one system can play it at a time. But
Yeah, not speaking to Nintendo and that sort of thing, but I mean, I think it's just the standard at this point because if I get an Xbox game, say
yeah,
from the library, and I put it in, it's generally not installing any content seemingly off of the disc. It's just
yeah, it's
downloading
it's a
everything.
license. It's
Yeah.
a download license, and the only way to actually find out, and there are still some Xbox games and maybe PS5 games. I don't want to speak out of turn, but there are some games that still do have it on disc, and the only way to find out is by completely disconnecting your system from the internet and popping it in and
Oh,
seeing
yeah,
if you're
that's
able to
true.
play it.
Well, a lot
I
of times it seems like there's a minor base install that'll pull stuff from the disc,
yes,
but then the majority of content is just online. And then sometimes, especially if it's an older game, it's just like, yeah, we're not even going to bother with any of
yeah,
that. Let's just get all the new stuff off the server.
yep. And the issue, one of the issues with, and this is just going hand in hand with the enshittification of video games, is that most games now release broken in the sense
Yeah,
that once you get a game, you have to have a version 1.0 patch to
yeah, day
include
one
on it
bats or
to
what
actually
have you.
to
Yeah,
actually get it to work, which is terrible for video game preservation. Like
yeah.
that's not great. There's obviously ways around it, and I'm sure the Video Game History Foundation knows their ways around many things, as many of us do. There are ways to get this done, but when it comes to the actual physical media, having that disc sometimes doesn't mean anything because you still need to pull that 1.0, day one patch to actually have it work.
And this is where the piracy community has
Yeah.
served the world for the last 40 years.
Yeah, absolutely. So there was that. That was one of the announcements. Bethesda also announced Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, which whatever. You've either played Fallout 4 or you haven't.
Whoopity doo. Let
Um,
me guess, they're just folding in stuff from the TV show.
I don't think so. I think the
Oh,
Anniversary
they did
Edition.
that with New Vegas, I guess, huh?
Yes, yeah, I
Yeah,
believe New Vegas did, which makes sense because season two, has a big Vegas,
yeah.
storyline in it. They also announced, surprisingly, not another Skyrim, but they announced Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered, which has been the new thing because I know the remastered came out for Xbox last year, I believe. So now this is just being ported over to Switch 2. There's a game that was announced that is actually, I think, coming out tomorrow, which I think looks super cool. It's called Tokyo Scramble.
I knew
It
you were gonna say
is.
that somehow.
Why? Did you actually see anything on it or?
Yeah, it looks batshit. I'm in.
Yeah. So essentially, it's like it takes place in an underground subway in Tokyo. There's a big collapse. There's dinosaurs inside the subway system. It's kind of a puzzle stealth kind of game. You're not really physically going to actually be attacking these dinosaurs because you're a person and they are dinosaurs. Uh, and I'm looking at this right now. It looks like it comes out tomorrow, which I'm sure it's probably a full priced game, most likely.
It's
But
50,
oh,
which
it's only 50.
respect. Yeah,
Wow.
respect.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't
No,
know about
that's
on Switch or Switch 2, but I know Steam, its retail is only $49.99.
nice. So my guess is if it has a physical, it doesn't say anything on here if there's a physical release. But if it's physical release, it's probably going to be 60 or 70 because that's the Switch tax. But
Mm-hmm.
digital might still release at 50. Resident Evil Requiem, which is the new Resident Evil game, is going to be coming to Switch 2, which I think is really cool because I think it's releasing on all three systems at the same time, which
That's
is
cool.
that is kind of crazy for Nintendo at this point because
Yeah.
they've always been the one lacking behind that just got, lesser ports and, a year or two later, which bouncing off that, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which has been out on PS5 for a year or year and a half or so, came to Xbox. Oh, no, it's coming to Xbox, I think.
Yeah,
Yes.
because I mean, the last time that Switch was getting like the everybody releases was like what Call of Duty Black Ops on Wii U
Yeah,
was, and that
might
was the
have been.
last thing that they really got. I mean, I guess maybe FIFA stuff, but the Switch probably
Maybe.
got their own titles for that.
Yeah. So Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which is the second game in the new Final Fantasy VII Remake series, that's coming out June 3rd, and I think it's coming out on Xbox at the same time too. That's a little surprise. It's not that surprising, but Final Fantasy VII Remake, which is the first in the series, just came out in this past month out on Switch 2. So it's nice to see that it looks like they may be on track
To release that
to.
along everybody else too.
Yep. And that'll be surprising because Xbox the same way. I know Sony had a timed exclusive, at least on the first one and probably the second one. So it'll be interesting to see on a game that I think might be coming out at the end of next year. There's actually a Sony State of Play this week where it's heavily rumored that they're going to at least, reveal the name of the third game, which I'm going to go on record right now and say I bet it's going to be called Reunion. Going upon the naming convention and based on how things are going, I'm going to just take my guess and say it's going to be called Final Fantasy VII Reunion.
Okay.
It could be wrong, and it could be something dumb, but I just want to put this, out here. So if I'm right, I can go ahead and clip this and be
I
like,
got
look
receipts,
at that.
bitch.
There's a couple other games. I'm not going to go into everything, but there's a new Turok that's coming out. It actually looked super fun.
Okay, that's
I don't.
interesting. I'll take that.
Yeah. So I think it's up to 4 players. You can do it either solo or up to 4 players, PvE, player versus environment. That looks kind of cool. There's a couple other just ports coming. Hollow Knight Nintendo Switch 2 edition was also announced, which if you own it for Switch, you get the Switch 2 upgrade for free, which I do have it. I think it's just some visuals and things, makes it run a little bit smoother. And yeah, a few other things here or there, but those are the big things. Super Bomberman collection, which I don't know if you were ever a Bomberman fan, but
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep. So yeah, that collection I think came out the day that they announced it. But
Super Bomberman 3, I think, was my favorite, where you ride the kangaroo-looking creatures.
Yep. Yeah. My favorite, which I'd love to see that come out again, is Bomberman 64, the actual adventure Bomberman game where there's a story mode and stuff. Yeah, I loved that game, but that's probably I'm probably the only one because I don't. It was a Nintendo 64 game, so
I'm just waiting for, I don't know, Switch 2 to do something interesting. There is one in my house, although it belongs to my son. But I've never felt compelled in the almost a year it's been here thus far to try it, really. I think I played Mario Kart for like a couple minutes. And it's like, yep, this is Mario Kart. But otherwise, I have experiences or those experiences available elsewhere. And I'm certainly, I'm not the normal consumer because I have all these freaking handhelds, but I don't know. I just can't believe that they haven't come out with something more compelling. Now, Donkey Kong looks really, really good. Don't get me wrong.
Donkey Kong's super fun. I will say that.
Yeah. Are we not coming up on the Zelda anniversary? They're going to do anything for that? Because the Mario one kind of came and went.
That's one thing Nintendo drops the ball on, and I don't understand. Is Zelda, like your big things, like drive home the anniversaries, do something, like capitalize on it.
People are free marketing for you, yeah.
People are begging to give you money.
Yeah.
And they just...
That's what I just feel like every Nintendo announcement's like, oh, it's the Nintendo Switch 2 edition of this game you played 5 years ago. Whereas we just went through a whole generation where you guys got really lucky that nobody played Wii U because you just got to re-release that entire catalog to amazingly great success. Mario Kart 8's like one of the best-selling games of all time now, where it had only sold 13 million or something, quite high before. But it's... I don't know, just dwindling returns, I suppose. But I can tell you, if there's not a new 3D Mario announcement in the near future, the next regular Nintendo Direct, my 10-year-old's gonna lose his freaking mind. I had these conversations at the bus stop. That's what you have to understand. He's like, I don't understand. It's March 10th, Mario Day. It's the anniversary. Why would you not make an announcement or reveal a new Mario for your new system? I'm like, dude, I don't have any argument with you. I think you're right. This is your consumer-based Nintendo. Listen to them.
Yeah, like I said, Nintendo is so weird when it comes to this stuff. They do so many things right, but they do so many things wrong.
Well, there's Nintendo's gonna Nintendo. That's kind of always the classic joke.
Yeah, they march to the beat of their own drum.
It feels a lot more outwardly hostile these days that they're just kind of getting over. I don't know. That's me. But I mean, I can be turned around. I want one of these. I want a Nintendo Switch 2. There was one for sale. It was like $375 at Sam's Club, and I was like, oh god, should I go get a $12 Sam's Club membership to be able to buy that? And I just came back to the same conclusion that there's no compelling reason for me to do so yet.
I could have just let you borrow my membership.
Oh, I wish you had said something. I would have had.
Well, you didn't tell me you were thinking about it, buddy.
No, it was like a slick deals. Your mileage may vary.
Yeah,
so it had to be an in-store buy kind of thing.
Yeah, I also saw the same thing, and I was debating. Not that I have the money or I was going to, but I was just kind of like, it's cheap enough. Maybe I should buy a second one. And then I very quickly, you're such an idiot. You don't need a second one. Why?
As you're like typing to me on the side, like, woof, I got to stop spending money on stupid shit.
Which is why I didn't buy it. I've been very good.
Yeah, look at us. We're both responsible in this situation.
I hate it. But going from a company that doesn't really seem to know what they're doing with their fan base, I want to quickly transition to a company that actually, one, treats their fan base great, and actually, two, seems to know how to market themselves.
Where we leave things off this week, and we will have to pick up next week. So stay tuned. Please like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell a friend, do whatever you can. Till then, we will see you next week on We Don't Have It Yet.